young ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all, or good morning. You are once again welcome here on your beloved platform, the platform for awakening consciousness. I start by wishing you a very good weekend, wherever you are. You follow me from all over the world. Know that I am with you in spirit. So, Donald Trump's special envoy to Ukraine, that is to say, Donald Trump's special envoy for the Middle East, who is in charge of managing Ukraine and Russia, he has just announced the very, very bad news. The very bad news to Ukraine and especially to Zelensky. He made a series of statements. Here is the gentleman as well. He only makes declarations. He made a series of statements within, which there is an element that touches the heart of Volodymyr Zelensky and even the heart of Europe. Yes, because these are things that Europe does not want to hear. So, in the context of this video conference, it is this bad news that we are going to talk about. There you go. But I want you to be able to share this video conference in all possible groups. Share it. Share it. As much as you can. So, let's go with the main statements of the special envoy of the American president during an interview with Tucker Carlson. First, he says this: we will go with the statement until we come across the bad, very bad statement. And him, this Putin, through Witkoff, offered Donald Trump a magnificent portrait of the Republican president, created by a Russian artist. This is what is called Maranatha, meaning that the friendship between Trump and Putin has reached an intolerable, unforgivable, and ruthless threshold. Putin offers him a magnificent portrait of himself, of Donald Trump, created by a Russian artist. First bad news. Europe is mixed up and doesn't know what is happening. Secondly, Trump let Putin know that he wished for relations between the two countries to resume, and that they would be the two great leaders to resolve the conflict in Ukraine. This is what Europe does not want to hear. This is what Zelensky does not want to hear. But why did this special envoy conduct this interview? Volodymyr Zelensky no longer even knows what is happening. That is to say, Putin, Donald Trump consider Putin, himself and Putin, as the two great leaders in the world. And they are the only two who should resolve it without Zelensky. Please share the video conference with me, share it. So, he says this: a meeting between Trump and Putin could take place in the coming months. That already is known, and it is very bad news. He continues, he says Russia has no intention of attacking Europe. Contrary to what Kate Starmer, the British Prime Minister, is saying, contrary to what Emmanuel Macron is saying, Russia has no intention of attacking Europe. No. Europe is inventing its own conflict to scare itself. That's one. And secondly, to allow Europe to fully execute its Machiavellian plan, which actually consists of Europe making the conflict last longer. Since, as long as the conflict continues, they are free to do whatever they want. Notably on the African continent, for example, the transfer of weapons to the Tehutero in Africa. So, he continues. He says that the fighting in the Black Sea could cease as early as next week. He continues. He says that Zelensky and Emark have largely admitted that Ukraine should not be a member of NATO. Kiev has also agreed on the necessity. Above all, here's the bad news. Who agreed to organize the elections? Presidential Senate elections. So, according to official information, Ukraine, which has not organized elections during the total war waged by Russia, because elections are prohibited by martial law established on February 24, 2022, the special envoy of American President Donald Trump to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, stated to the American journalist Tucker Carlson during an interview on March 21st that Ukrainian leaders had agreed to organize a presidential election. Now, it remains to be seen if the Ukrainian authorities accepted or if they were forced. Since, I tell you, no Ukrainian will vote for Zelensky, even if Zelensky ran as a candidate. Donald Trump himself said through the polls, only 4% of Ukrainians are in favor of Zelensky. 4%! And because the Ukrainian people consider him as the one who brings bad luck. Yes, he is the one that brought the bad luck on Ukraine. That's how they see him, as the one who brought misfortune to Ukraine. Moreover, it was during his term that Ukraine found itself in this situation. And from nowhere, even to the point of saying that because he is a comedian, he lacks the art of managing public affairs. He considered managing public affairs as if it were theater. And there you have it. So, elections are going to be organized. And you know Donald Trump. When he decides, he acts. But when will these elections take place? The date has not been given. But what remains clear is that it's getting hot for Volodymyr Zelensky. It's the end of his power. Maranatha. So, America doesn't take this lightly. So, while the relations between Donald Trump and Putin are being sealed like the relations between husband and wife, because the level it has reached, we no longer even know what's happening. Until Vladimir Putin offers a portrait to the American president. No, that's the pinnacle. It's the intolerable threshold. So, Donald Trump wants the two to be the two great leaders who resolve the Ukrainian conflict. Europe is on the sidelines. And do you think this pleases Europe? That's why Kate Starmer, the British Prime Minister, and the war leader Emmanuel Macron are making early preparations to a military contingent that will move into Ukraine to truly confront Russia. That's the reality. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the highlight of international news. I greet you from your respective positions and thank you for all your contributions to the realization of this video conference. Through your likes, your shares, and your support. I will get back to you shortly with more news. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.